Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree Buonomo. Hi if you're new here, or hey if you've been here before. Today I want to share with you guys my experience doing my very first author event, author signing, as kind of an indie author being indie published through a small press, and how I did that. So I hope this is informative and a little fun. And my hope is that this will help you out if you are also an indie or self-pub author and you would like to do this for yourself. So the thing that I want to stress is that connections and community are very important in most things in life, and it can be very scary putting yourself out there, especially if you're completely new and you don't really have any established connections. I'm not gonna lie, I am a very outgoing person, so it's pretty easy for me to strike up conversation with people and make friends, and essentially that is how it became very easy for me to slide into a local business and create this author event. I'm not gonna lie about that at all, but I also know from other people in my own area that it's also not that hard to do this for yourself, even if you don't have a pre-established connection. So first, I'll talk about how I got into my author event and signing, and then I'll tell you how you might be able to go about it for yourself if you don't have these connections. So for me, I love writing, and most of my friendships have been built on some sort of writing or reading habit. Truthfully, all of my friends are bookworms, and I am so blessed that I have them and I've collected them in my life. My co-writer, who has been on this channel in the past, not so much recently, but definitely when I was first starting my channel, we wrote a lot of books together. A lot of versions of the same book, I should say, and then one rom-com. But when we first started venturing into this one place, this business, back in 2020, we slowly became friends with the owner, and then my co-writer ended up becoming very close friends with the owner, so much so that they ended up becoming business partners. So I had a shoe-in essentially because I know the owners very well. That aside, I do want to clarify that I approached them as this was a business contract kind of deal. It wasn't like I was like, hey, I'm gonna come and show up. We did work it out on how it would be run. It would be a free community event that they would go ahead and publicize on their page. I did the graphics for it, and then I also shared it on my pages. Before I became more involved with the business, there was already a pre-established book club, and in 2022, I actually ended up taking over it as a co-host because the original host decided to step away for a little while and then did other endeavors on their own. So I had formed the new book club with another friend, and then because of that, I also inquired about maybe starting a writing club, just someplace we can chill at. It would be a free event, so it'd be free publicity for the business as well as a space for me to be creative. I have plenty of those in my vlogs and in my TikToks, and I'm talking about the Salt Cave. So this is the Salted Pixie, which is a local business, and I will leave the link down below in case you're somewhat near to the area and you want to visit. They're great. And I'm not just saying that as a friend of the owners. I started going there before I was friends with them. So it has been a business that I have already frequented. So I started with the writing club, and then because I do the writing and the book club, and a book signing event is kind of the best of both worlds, they agreed to let me host it just for a small event. And that is how I was able to get into the door and have an event free of charge in order to promote the Stygian Collection. If for any reason the Pixie was not going to allow me to do it, I had some other options in my back pocket. And this is where it might be helpful for you guys. So if you don't have ins with a business that may or may not fit a book signing event, there's other options you can do. First of all, any type of local business that may or may not cater to a book author type of aesthetic, and I'm talking about places like coffee shops or cafes or bookstores like indie bookstores, anything like that might be your first place to go to. One, there's a good chance that they will allow you to participate in their space. I don't know necessarily about charging and whatnot. They might be open to it being free, but they're more likely to do that because your name and your service that you're providing, aka a book signing, will be likely to draw people into their stores and then hopefully also make a profit off that. So there was another local business by me that is a local coffee shop, and they are phenomenal. I've had so many good experiences with them, to the point where now I am also friends on Facebook with the business owner. I tell you, I just make friends everywhere I go. I really do. Again, they also do community events. They do car shows, they do a wine tasting. This business also, like, they are a cafe and coffee shop, but they also have a little general store, and they have sections of the store where they sublet essentially to other businesses. So if you have like antique toys, for instance, and that's your business, you can have a little shelf where you sell in store. And of course, then there's like profits where they take a small portion as like your rent kind of, and they're adding a winery into this place. So it's literally like a general store that is just super unique. They probably would have let me do that in some sort of way because, again, they also have other events like paint and sips, and they have people come in and do demonstrations. It's really cool. So I do think that that would have been a nice option as well, and I probably could have worked out a deal with the owners to do it there. However, if neither of those were an option, and they might not be options for you based on maybe the local business wants some kind of commission and that's just not something in your budget, or maybe they're just not into the idea and politely decline you, I think your next best option is to definitely look at your local libraries and any kind of local bookstore, both privately owned and something like a Books A Million or a Barnes & Noble. The local libraries are such great resources, and they're a free resource for most things. I think it would be well worth it to go and check in with them and see if that is something that they would be able to provide you. I know in my area, they have tons of free events all the time. I've also attended a book event that was raising money for another event. So it was a paid event to get into, and then the profits from that went to another event. The thing with libraries is they're always wanting to promote authors and books. So even though I didn't go that route, I can't imagine that many libraries, unless it was some kind of like contract or time frame issue, that they would deny you guys from being able to go in there. But in the case that you also get denied from the library, I know for sure Barnes & Noble is one that tends to agree to do indie authors events. My Barnes & Noble is about 45 minutes away. It's not super close. I have a Books A Million that's about 25 minutes away, and I don't see as many events at the Books A Million. But the Barnes & Noble, that's a bit of a drive, has events all the time. They have tons of authors, from New York Times bestsellers to local authors. And I actually just saw one before filming this segment that it was a local author coming back for the sequel of their book, and they were going to be selling copies and doing a signing. So Barnes & Noble especially seems to be really open to helping indie authors. And if your book is published and available to be sold at Barnes & Noble, then...
Hi friends, Editing Bree here. I just really wanted to quickly jump in because when I originally filmed this, I did not explain what I meant very well, and I butchered it and it made no sense. So what I wanted to just say is that when you are not just bound with Amazon and Kindle and you have your book available in other sellers like Barnes & Noble, what I believe they are able to do then is, if you're having an event there, they will go ahead and stock your book for you. So you don't have to bring your own copies in. You can have it, as long as Barnes & Noble sells it online, they will order it and have it in store. So that way they take care of all the sales and stuff like that. When I was at an event with a traditional published author, they had her traditional published works there, but she also had self-published a poetry collection, and that was also there as well. So that's what I meant to say, is that they will have your books available when people can walk in, buy the book, and then sit there and get it signed with you, and you don't have to worry about taking money and handling all of that. So it's really nice.
So no matter what, I would definitely check at least those 3 resources when you're trying to schedule an event. Local businesses, libraries, and bookstores. They all seem great, and after talking to some people in my area, those all seem to work out in some capacity for everybody. Now, the last thing I could suggest you do for your own type of event is not quite a signing, but you can sign at this. So in my area, and this might be area specific, I don't know across the whole United States or in other parts of the world, but craft fairs and craft shows are huge in my area. There's literally one every single weekend in the summer and in the warmer months, and Fall Fest, there's tons of them. And oftentimes I have seen many local authors who are there with a little stand and their own supply of books, and they will pay the fee to set up a table and get in, and then they just sit there and they talk about their books and they sell their books and they sign them right then and there. So I have actually bought books that way from other indie authors in my area when I've seen them there and I just want to support them. So I typically buy if I have the money, and I think that's a great way to do it too. So if all else fails and you have craft shows and craft fairs in your area, then that's another good way to put your name out there, to get your books out there, and to have a little signing and one-on-one conversations with people who might be interested in reading. So now I've thrown a lot of information out there for you, but I just hope that it is helpful in some sort of way. And of course, if I'm missing something or anybody has other ideas that I didn't include, definitely feel free to leave them in the comments. I'm not 100% an expert on this. This was my first author event I've ever done. I'm just pulling knowledge from how I did mine, as well as seeing other people do theirs in my area. So there might be other ways that I've just completely been blinded to or haven't gotten around to learning about. So that's how I did it. That is how I got an author event established on my own. So now that that's out of the way, I am going to show some clips from my event, and I hope you enjoy. We are at the shop to do an event that maybe no one's gonna show up for. Say hello to shop owner. Hi. And co-writer, if anyone remembers her face. It's been a while. Gotta set up. I forgot my tripod because I am a mess today. So let's go set up. Finished it in June, a dark fantasy story that is a play on The Little Mermaid and the Hunger Games, where the mermaid is sent to land to kill the prince and infiltrate his castle in order to secure her own throne under the sea. If you guys aren't familiar, which you're probably not, so in the writing world, there's a community event called National Novel Writing Month, and in November, it's a challenge to try to write 50,000 words of a book. So I've been doing that the last couple years, and I'm going to be writing a vampire story in November. But there's going to be lots of trigger warnings because there's going to be drug use and abuse.
Can I be the female vampire?
Can you be the female vampire? You want to be abused? Well, and the thing, I'm like nervous because vampires are coming back. So I followed trends obviously because I want to be published, and right now there's tons of vampire novels coming out, and publishing goes in waves where you really have to hit the market at the right time to get a publishing deal in that specific thing. So vampires are making their way back, which is a good thing, but it might not be a good thing for when I'm trying to get this story out there.
I feel like there's like a length of time between waves of trends.
There is, yeah. I think, don't quote me on this, but I want to say it's like a 10-year wave where trends tend to cycle through like a 10-year period.
Oh, that's good. I thought you were going to say like a few months.
Oh, no. It's quite, it's quite a long time. So if you think about it, like the Twilight era was a little bit longer, but that was like mid-2000s to like early 2010s. So we're starting to come back into that. Well, thank you for coming.
Yeah, we can go Leos.
Thanks.
It's a nice little event.
Yes, and definitely please take stickers and bookmarks if you haven't, because they are free. I made them for this, so
I need a signature.
Of course. You didn't get your first one.
I did not get it, but I'm gonna be the last one, which is the most important. So there we go.
Or do you want to wait then? Because if her friend is coming,
yeah, I'll wait. I'm
then
gonna be
you're
the
not
last
going
one.
to be the
I'm gonna
last
be the last
either.
one of the evening.
You can take all those.
Technically my book.
That's my name.
Hi friends, so I have officially wrapped up my event and I'm posting this a few days after I did my signing, but I just wanted to kind of sit and reflect on it before I shared my thoughts with you guys. So my author event I think went really well. I knew all but one person there, but truthfully, it just meant the world to me that I had a lot of people who wanted to support me. I had family there, I had friends there, and it was just really nice. And I had 5 copies that I had to sell there, and all 5 copies were sold, so it was really cool. So I only had a few clips, and unfortunately I thought my camera had been playing the entire time I was talking because I wanted to do a little bit of clips from me reading, but unfortunately it was not. It only caught the end, so I don't know what happened, but you know, I will just tell you guys here what I did. I think for the first 15 minutes, I mostly just said hi to people and chatted with them. I had bookmarks that the Stygian Society sent me to give out, so it was actually the artist who did all the artwork inside the book. So things like those little designs there. The Stygian Society sent me sticker sheets so that I can hand them out and let people take what they wanted. So I put those out. I also went ahead and made my own bookmarks using Canva. I did 2 different designs. The first one was a quote from my short story, and the second one actually had the code so that you can scan. It was a QR code, so you can scan it and buy it. And that was in the event that maybe I ran out, but also so I can leave them at the shop in case anybody was interested after the event. Like maybe saw it late on Facebook and they didn't get to come, but then they could pick it up and I would just have extra bookmarks there. So once I waited the 15-minute mark, I did a little reading. So I gave a little preamble about the collection, and what I decided to do was, because it's a short story and I didn't want to read the whole thing, it was about 10 pages long. It would have taken a little bit longer to do that, but also I wanted people to go home and enjoy it and read it for themselves. So what I did was, if you guys have been on my channel for a little bit, but also if you've been following my new series I've been doing, which is Review, Revise, Submit. It's a live stream where I take old works that I made, mostly from back in my college days, like 2011 to 2013, and I review them and kind of give critiques and edits and how I would fix the story now looking back on it. And Reaper, which has been the one that was selected for the Stygian Collection, was one of those stories. It was a college story that I wrote for my flash fiction class that was not really well done, and I took the idea and recreated it completely for this collection. I took that original story, it was only 2 pages, and I read the first 3 small paragraphs of it just to get an idea of how different this story became. And then I read the first page for my story just to give a difference and show how my craft has grown. And that was really cool. And the one question that I wanted to include in this video, but I didn't have the clip of it, that someone asked, was why I switched the story from first person to third person. Because in my original story, it was first person and I wasn't named, like the I character wasn't actually named. And when I was asked that question, it honestly took me off guard because I wasn't expecting it, and I didn't think I answered it the best way I could have. So I wanted to just talk about that a little bit here. So I think when I originally wrote this story, it was in first person because it was the tale of a person who was bitter and had lots of regrets. And because of that, first person worked really well because you can really get into that head of just despair, essentially. I'm not going to tell you the whole original story because then that is probably going to ruin the ending for both stories, because the ending is still the same in both of those short stories. But the original story was only 2 pages, and it was very much like a I'm stuck with this, I did this, I don't want this kind of vibe. So when I decided to rewrite the story, third person seemed to fit so much better. It's one of those stories where I feel like you want to be in this character's headspace and understanding the whole situation as it unfolds and the subtle terror that it implies. But I think it works better in third person because it can almost be a what if this was me. You're removed just enough in third person where you can say like, ooh, that's tough, like that sucks for that person, but there's still that horror about like how would I react to this, and if I was given this opportunity, like I would know what to do, or I would feel the same way, or I would be, you know, nowhere near that, or I wouldn't have any doubts. It asked those questions that I think the first person didn't leave room for, because in first person you're so into that headspace and in those feelings that I think that's all you would have gotten out of the story. So third person really opened it up, and you still get a very close and personal vibe with it, but you have that lingering feeling. At least I hope you do. I like that question, and after I thought about it more, I think I'm able to answer it now in that manner. So yeah, the event was really fun, and like I said, it was just really nice, and it was interesting to see where people wanted my signature. I had 3 different places that people wanted it. For the first was obviously like the page of like the anthology name, which is common when you have your own book, right? But a couple people had said to me, I'm probably not gonna meet any of the other authors, so just sign there. A lot of people wanted me to sign by my story, which was cool. And then I had my mother who wanted me to sign by my story, but as well, she wanted me to sign on the table of contents by my name. So yeah, it was just very interesting to see where people wanted to sign. And it was, like I said, really fun, and I'm glad I did it. And I just hope that in the future, I will get to do more of these, and it'll be even better each time. So now we've come to the end of this video, and I just want to say thank you guys for supporting me, for supporting the Stygian Collection, and for always being a subscriber. And because of that, I would like to give you guys a chance to get your own copy by doing a giveaway. I want to be able to give you guys that chance to read and at least review it. Even if you can't buy it yourself, review it, because reviews mean everything, and for other indie authors or small publishers, reviews mean so much. So I would love to give you guys a copy, and I will definitely sign it. Once the winner's picked, you can let me know where you actually want me to sign it. But I'm also going to throw in a couple goodies. Not only are you going to get the whole Stygian collection, I'm also going to throw in some of the stickers from the Stygian Society, as well as the 2 bookmarks that I made just for you guys. In order to be participating in this particular giveaway, you do need to be in the United States. I will hopefully have one that can be international, or at least the type of international where if Amazon would ship to you, but right now this is only United States. So if you live in the United States, you're welcome to enter. To enter, be sure to be subscribed to me. Leave a comment down below telling me your favorite horror trope or your favorite horror/thriller book of all time. And I can't track this, but if you would, definitely share this video or the Stygian Collection with people you know, so that we can get more readers into our little dark and twisty horror anthology. If you want to double your chances of winning, then I will also be doing the same giveaway for the same thing. So it's only one of these between my YouTubers and my Instagram followers. But you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram and look at the post that will have the Stygian Collection. It will be going up the same time as this video. So be sure to check out my Instagram and follow the instructions there as well. So thank you guys so much for watching this. I hope it was informative, I hope it was fun, and I hope you guys are excited for this collection. It's been great being a part of it, and to be able to say like, hey, I'm a published author now. And I really want to thank you guys. It's been a slow journey on YouTube, but it's been a rewarding one so far, and it's only going to get better. So thank you guys so much, and until next time, I'll see you then. Bye.